Welcome to the fifth video in the Soul Contract series that I've been running every week. So far we have discussed the sensitive numbers, the outsider numbers, the boundary numbers, and the power numbers. And today we're going to be talking about the intense numbers. So we're going deep today. And I have a little bit of a head cold at the moment, which is why I'm speaking a little nasally and quietly. So just bear with me. I'll put all the links in below to the videos so you can catch the other ones. And if you don't know the numbers in your chart, that's okay. I'll put a link in below so you can access your chart for free and find out what numbers you have in your soul contract. So I've been running these series, these videos for 5 weeks. Been really enjoying it. And if you don't know who I am and you're new here, my name's Antonia, and I love to help people through soul contract readings and divine healing sessions to gain deeper levels of self-awareness so they can feel more compassionate with and more confident in who they are, and ultimately more at home in themselves and their lives. So that's the big thing. So let's just dive into the intense energies in the soul contract. Now there's 3 that I've picked out that I think are really potent with this, and I don't have the first one in my birth chart. I have it in my common name, and it's a 14-5. So I have the 5s but not the 14. Now I don't see this number super often, but whenever it shows up when I'm prepping someone's chart, I think, ooh, I bet they've had some quite intense relationships in their lifetime. And what this means is the energy of the 14 in this little pairing is always seeking to understand who it is. It's the soul seeking to understand who they are, not just understand, but also accept and embrace who they are. That's the goal of the 14. But the way that the soul does this is with relationships, because people are our mirrors. So this is a magical, multidimensional mirror energy, the 14. It can be very passionate and very intense. And often these people who have this energy in their chart may go through life having very intense relationships with their families, with their parents, romantically, with friends, maybe in work. And it can be quite a challenging energy because it can just be quite full on. You know, I know someone who has a 14-5 in their soul destiny, and very challenging dynamics in her family, with her children, and that's how it can show up, though it's different for each person. And ultimately the 14-5 creates an intensity around you and for also the people around you as well. So you're having a little bit of an intense experience, the people around you are having a bit of an intense experience as well. And ultimately the 14-5s, as I said, are here to understand, embrace and accept who they are. And obviously relationships reflect back to us who we are. That's where the magical mirror energy comes in. But they're also here to slow down and take a pause and come into their own energy, take a break from those intense relationships, because they can create a lot of burnout, a lot of exhaustion, and a lot of intensity. So that's the first energy, the 14-5. And I'll just add on as a caveat, when you have the 5 energy showing up, the 5s are here to come out into the world, out of abstract into manifest. It's a very ethereal energy, and they're really here to assert themselves and step forward out into the world and declare themselves. You know, I'm here, I'm living a very human physical existence, and the universe tests that energy by sending people to force them to stand up for themselves. So sometimes 5s can have slightly manipulative or slightly abusive relationships with people in order to support them to stand up for who they are. So that's where that intensity can also just jump in to this whole 14-5 dynamic. Okay, the second number is the 21-3. Now I don't have this, but again, my brother has this, and I know a few other people who have this energy. And when I see it again, when I'm prepping a chart, I think, I wonder if this person's been through a lot. The 21-3 energy is all about overcoming, lasting endurance and growth. It's a very high frequency, very powerful energy, and it only really gets into the soul contracts of the souls who can handle it. We always take on what we are capable of handling. Although someone with a 21-3 in their chart might disagree and say, what the hell? What did I sign up for? Why on earth would I want to have a 21-3 in my soul contract? Because it can be really, really, really challenging, and I want that to be a validating statement for anyone who's been through a lot in their lifetime. They look at their chart and they say, oh my gosh, of course that's why I've got a 21-3. And even if you don't, as I said earlier, lots of other numbers can bring a lot of challenges and intensity. It's a deeply individual experience. The 21-3s are here to unblock their power and unblock their creativity. And often they need to build that endurance to overcome. So they may be a little willful, a little rebellious, a little restless, or they can be the other side. It's very lethargic, very heavy, very stagnant, finding it very hard to get things moving. So the 21-3 is all about overcoming and that lovely endurance and that lovely inner strength. And often people who have this might have had really tough childhoods. They might have had really big health issues. Comes in all manner of things. And I found that it doesn't matter whether 21-3 is in your chart, you're still going to experience some big stuff. So that big stuff creates a lot of intensity in someone's life. And I think the key thing I want to take away is if you have this number, you have been through some tough stuff and you have got through it, or you are getting through it, or you will get through it. And it's going to be okay because you're here to overcome, you're here to work your way through it. And this placement of this number in your soul contract is very purposeful and very designed. And I would say people with 21-3s are the strongest people out of everyone. I don't have one. I'm not in that camp. Okay, and the last number, I wasn't sure whether to include it because I talk about this one a lot. It's the 12-3, but I don't come across it a lot in people's charts. I have it in my soul destiny and I have it in a talent. So I have this very strong energy coming through all the time. And the 12-3 is a mix. The 12s are this expansive energy where they just want to grow. It's like an insatiable thirst. They want to learn, they want to understand, they want to grow, they want to fit in as much as possible. And then that's a real big soul urge. And then the 3s are here to learn they are worthy. But the 3s often have to overcome the very deep programming that if I do more, I am more. If I do more, I am better. If I do more, I will become enough. It's nothing to do with doing, and this is the big lesson of the 3. The 12s are here to learn balance, to slow down, to not squeeze so much in, to take things at a sensible pace. And the 3s are learned that they do not need to do more. They do not need to fill every waking hour. This is my eternal challenge. My greatest fear of running out of time. And this can be such an intense feeling for people with 12-3s. It's just this kind of inner drive, this inner engine that just is always powering up. So as a recap, we've got the 14-5, which is the intensity around relationships. The 21-3 is the intensity around life challenges, and the 12-3 is that intensity around that soul drive that is also undercut by that 3 energy, which is all about learning our worth. And if you've got all 3 of those numbers in your chart, I dip my hat to you. What a hero, because yeah, that is a big experience for you in this lifetime. But yep, you wouldn't have had it if you couldn't have handled it. That's absolutely true for all of these energies on their own, or if you've got them in a combination. So I hope that helped you gain a little bit of perspective and understanding if you've got these numbers. And I'm going to post the next video next Tuesday, so wait and see what that is. If you want to subscribe, please do. Otherwise, I wish you a very beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.